Hi my loves, thanks for returning. As you know by the thumbnail, this video is going to be on one of Huda's new mini eyeshadow palettes. I have the Coral Obsessions palette and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I'm going to show you some swatches and I'm also going to show you some shadows that I think are dupes. So before you go out and buy this palette, you might already have a lot of these colors in your collection. So if you want to hear more about this mini palette, then just keep watching. So I did go ahead and pull you out a little bit closer because I want to show you the palette as well as some other shadows that I think are very similar. The palette looks like this. Okay, these are the shadows right here, and it does have a mirror right there, as you can see. So the palette retails for $27. You can get it online at Sephora. However, it will not be in stores until the 21st of May. You get a total of 10 grams of eyeshadow in this palette. There are 9 shades, 2 of which are metallic. This palette was made in the People's Republic of China. It does contain carmine and it does contain talc. So if you are one that is sensitive to talc, you may want to avoid this palette, and this palette also contains silicone. So with that being said, I wanted to talk about the performance of this palette. I found this palette very hard to build up. I found the shadows to be not as pigmented as her other little mini palettes. I do think I'm going to return this palette. I'm going to try a couple more looks, but if I can't get the look to look any better than what I have on my eyes right now, I'm just going to have to return it. As you can see, the look that I have on right now is very light. The red colors in the shadow, I tried to build them up, you know, tried to get it to look as dark as it was in the pan, and I just could not get it to do that. There was a tremendous amount of kick up in the pan, and you know, I have said so many times that that's not anything to bother me, but it was reminiscent of, I don't know if you all are familiar with those Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes, the new ones, how much kick up there is. It just reminded me of that. And I just feel as though for $27, it shouldn't be quite that much. I mean, I understand there's going to be some, but it was just too much for me. I did try to use all of the colors in the palette. There was one that I did not use. However, it was similar to another color in the palette. There are colors that look identical in this palette. I think that she could have put some deeper shades in this palette, and that would have attracted more people to be interested in this palette, because then it could possibly be a standalone palette. Since the reds and the oranges in here don't really deepen up that much, you have to kind of reach in into another palette if you want it to look a certain way. I do feel that this color and this color are very similar. They're just almost identical to me. Also, this color right here and this one are very similar. So immediately when I opened up the palette, I'm thinking, I have these colors already, and I'm pretty sure you do too. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So it's right there, so get a good look at it. So now look at this palette. So immediately right off the back, you think that they are exactly alike. Well, no, it's not a total and complete dupe, but a lot of these colors are very close. So here they are right next to each other. Now, of course, the yellow shade is brighter and that red shade is a little bit deeper, but those metallic shades are very close. So for those of you who have the Sunset palette, you may already have the colors in this Huda palette. So I'm gonna go to another palette. So I only found 4 colors that were spot on in this palette, and let me just show you. So this is the Jaclyn Hill palette. So the color in the middle, that light beigey shade, there is a dupe for that in this palette. The metallic shade, there's a dupe for that, and the, what is that, the bottom orangey type of color, if you have this Jaclyn Hill palette, you might not need this little mini palette. And I'm going to show you one more palette. It doesn't have as many of the same colors or colors that are close, but it does have some, and that would be the Zulu palette by Juvia's Place. Okay, so the yellow is just a little bit brighter. Believe it or not, that little metallic shade that is on the same row as the purple, it's the shade on top. So I don't want to talk totally down on the palette. I did have some favorites, and my favorites were the metallic shades. And typically I like her mattes, but I just found the mattes in this palette to be dry and powdery. It was just, to me, it was just a big disappointment. You will actually see in the demo what I'm talking about when I said before about how the shadows are difficult to build up. As far as blendability, they did blend, but it's almost as though they kind of blended away. I tried to use the yellow on my lid. I'm not sure if you can see it. I do have a yellow eyeliner, but I did put the yellow on my lid. I was able to build up the yellow, but I had to pack it on, and what you see right now is just pretty much the best that the yellow could do, and that's without putting concealer down and then putting the color on top of that. So overall, I think that the look that I came up with is okay. I just, I don't know, I'm just so disappointed in this palette, but it is a really cute palette. And remember, these are magnetic, okay? So if you have all of them, you can just kind of neatly stack them together. If you're thinking about getting this palette, look in your collection. I'm sure you have all of these colors somewhere. And I think that I probably would have realized it had I just really analyzed the picture on Sephora, but I was just so gung-ho. Oh, I love the mini palette. Just like a silly person. So let me just go ahead and swatch these for you. These shadows do not have names, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly swatch them. And there you go. Those are all of the 9 colors. So that is pretty much it. Let me know what you think about this palette. Do you think you have these colors already? Is this something that you're going to pick up? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want to see the demo of how these shadows apply, just continue to watch. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until my next video, smooches.